Okay, so good evening to you all. In the previous class, we have completed two complete questions in the part 2, right? Database management system. In database management system, we have completed two questions in the part 2. We have already completed the part 1, right? So today we have to take the remaining questions. So we have started from 2019 and also we finished 2018, right? So today we have to take 2017 question. So hope everyone has the tune. So please take the tune and take that particular page. Right, so without further introduction, I directly come to the question 2017 second part. Right, look at the question. Assume that the following database tables are used to calculate the electricity bills. The same rate is used to complete the bill of the given customer. Okay. So this is about calculating the electricity bill. You have three tables. First table is for storing customer data. So that's why it is given. Then look at the name, customer data table. So that has customers' names, account number, and type. And also you have usage table that has month, account number, units, right? Units used. There is another table called rate table that has rates about the types, rates for types, right? You have two types, R, C. For R, 10.5, which means 10 rupees 5 cents, 50 cents, and also for C type, you have 18.5. Even though without knowing the fact, you can write the answer, because sometimes you may feel that R, right? So that letter R doesn't make any sense, but there may be a meaningful one. Maybe R means residential, C means commercial, because as electricity consumers, we are categories, right? There are categories. So if you belong to a commercial institution, then you need to charge a little bit different than the normal domestic customers, right? So those domestic customers can be residential. Even without this understanding, you can manage the answers. Okay, right, look here. So go to the first question. Write two primary keys and their corresponding tables. You know, in all these years, this would be the first question. Write two primary keys keys and their corresponding tables. Okay, let's find the primary key in each table. Look here, look at the customer data table. In customer data table, you have three fields: name, account number, type. You know, name never be a primary key because it never be unique, right? Look at the type, that also has duplication because every customer belongs to different categories. Sometimes that customer belongs to R, sometimes it's C, so it has duplication. So type never be. But take a look at this ACCNO. This account number never have any duplication because every customer is given with special numbers, unique number that is not duplicated. So we have found the first primary key. What is it? In customer data table ACCNO. Okay, keep note there is an underscore, keep the underscore. So this is how your answer is written: customer data table dash ACC underscore NO. Even in the customer data note, there is a underscore, right? Keep the underscore. Okay, right. What about the second table? Look at the second. We have been asked to find two primary keys. Look at the question, two primary keys. So far we have identified first, only one. Let's identify the second one. In usage table, look at the month. Month should be duplicated because in a particular month, there are so many customers who consume, right? So definitely it is repeated. As you can see here, January repeated. Okay, these are only sample data. There may be hundreds of data follows, right? So month never be. Look at the account number. in the customer data table, account number is the primary key, but that doesn't mean that it is primary key in all the table, right? But here in account number, you have to check whether it has the eligibility to become as a primary key. No, because it has duplication. Look at that, 1001 duplicated, because one customer consumes electricity in different months. Here in this instance, 1001, which means AB Silva consumed 185 units in January and 280 units in February. So definitely account number has duplication. It is not the primary key. Take a look at the units. Units always related to numbers. These numbers are repeated. So none of the fields have the eligibility for becoming as primary key. So there should be a composite key, right? Since primary key is not found, since no single field has the eligibility, definitely you need to find the composite key. But fortunately, we don't have any questions like that, right? We don't have any questions to find out the composite key. But for your practice, for your understanding, try finding the composite key, right? So I want someone. Who is it? Anojan. Starting from you, Anojan. What is the composite key here? Anojan A. What is the composite key?
Month and account number.
Month, account number. Look. So if you take, if you combine month and account, I have explained so many times, right? I have explained the method of finding the composite key in many times. So if you combine month and account number together, then you can find the uniqueness, because look here, January 1001 never be repeated. January alone is repeated. 1001 alone repeated. But do you think that January 1001 repeated? Never. Because this table stores the data for a particular year. You cannot store all the years in a single table. So definitely January 1001 is not repeated. So in usage table, if January 1001 is not repeated, definitely others also not repeated. February 1001 never be repeated. January 1002 never be repeated. So in usage table, the composite key is month plus account number, month plus ACC and no. Okay, right. But remember, that is not the question asked, but it is for your additional knowledge, right? Let's check the rate table. So in rate table, we have to find the primary key. I want someone. Who is it? Aditya. What is the primary key in rate table?
Type.
Type. Banuja.
Yes, a type.
Type. Sahan.
Type.
Type. Denishan. Denishan.
Type.
Kabishan.
Type, sir.
Okay, it is type because R is one type, residential, C is another type. That is never be repeated, because according to the first strike code, that customer type R is assigned 10.5. Customer type C is assigned 18.50. So it never be repeated. But I have a doubt here. Look here. Can you select, or can I select rate as primary key? Huh? What about this one? Selecting rate as primary key, is it correct? Your choice is correct, right? Type is okay, but sometimes there may be more than one fields which have the eligibility for becoming as primary key. So in that instance, you may select one of them. Definitely there should be one primary key. You can't have two primary keys in one table. But there is a possibility for being eligible in 2 or 3 fields. That is possible. So my question is, type is already confirmed, right? Type can be primary key. Can we have rate as primary key? Induja.
No, sir.
No. Kavipiriyan.
No, sir.
So can anybody tell me the reason? So why do you think that rate is not the primary key? What is the reason behind? Anybody? If it is anybody, nobody, I mean, speaks, right? Abhinaya.
No meaning.
Abhinaya. Abhinaya M. Januga. Januga N.
Sir, another type can have that rate.
You must speak loudly, then only I can hear. Listen.
Another type can have that.
Listen here. So in this instant, rate cannot be the primary key. The reason is it may have duplication. But look here, you have only two data, 10.5 and 18.5. So here the data seem to be unique. But don't think that you have two data. Sometimes there may be a third data. Who knows, right? There may be a third record which also has 10.50, right? It is possible, right? That is possible. There may be another customer type. Only we have only two data, but nobody knows the remaining data, right? Suppose if there is another data that may have 10.50. So there is a duplication. Even I can argue that even with the existing data, I can argue that this C type sometimes changed as 10.50. That is possible. You know, from time to time, these rates are changed. So sometimes commercial customers and residential customers may have same rate, 10.50. So rate cannot be the primary key. Okay, so remember this fact. So here the primary key, I take the answer directly. In customer data table, the primary key is account number. In rate table, the primary key is type. Okay, for your knowledge, take the composite key. In usage table, these two, month plus account number, composite key. Okay, right. Second question, write two foreign keys and their corresponding tables. To find the foreign key, it is important to find the primary key. Without identifying the primary key, you cannot identify the foreign key. Okay, right. So identifying the primary key is must. But fortunately, we have already identified the primary keys because that is our first question. So in customer data table, account number is the primary key. In rate table, type is the primary key. Right. Now, you have to search this account number in other tables because in customer data table, it's the primary key. Let's see which table has this account number. Which of the other table has the account number? Which one? Look here, usage table has. In usage table, account number is there, but it is not the primary key, right? That is not the primary key. So according to the definition for, foreign key, it must be the primary key in one table, but not the primary key in another table. So your first foreign key is ACCNO in usage table. Okay, ACC underscore NO in usage table. But you have been asked to write two foreign keys. Okay, right. Look at the rate table. In rate table, type is the primary key. Let's find out this type in other tables. So which table has the type? Look here. In customer data table, that field type is available. But is it the primary key in data customer data table? No, right? Account number is the primary key. So type is the primary key in array table, but not in customer data table. So type in customer data table should be the foreign key. Okay, so you have two foreign keys. I take the first one, ACCNO in usage table. Second, type in customer data table. Okay, so these are the first two questions. Let's take the third one. What would be the most suitable table in the database to add the field custom address? It's too easy, right? So you need to add the field, add a new field called custom address. What would be the ideal table? In rate table, you have only rate details. In usage table, you have usage, units used. But address is something related to customer, right? So which table keeps the customer's data? Customer data table, right? So this is the table which needs that field. Okay, so it's customer data table because this table has customers data. Okay, so for the third question, the answer is customer data table. Number 4. What tables should be updated if a new customer called ABC Nawaz of type R has used 120 units for the month of April? So this is another question which is often asked. So they give a particular instance. You need to find out the tables which need updation. Okay, let's take the situation again. What table should be updated if a new customer called ABC Nawaz of type R has used 120 units for the month of April? Right, so according to this statement, it shows usage table, right? There should be an updation in the usage table because this statement talks about units used. See, he used 120 units for the month of April. So definitely the usage table needs updation because that table has the data about units used. So first answer, usage table. But you have to check whether any other table needs updation, right? Any other tables. Look here. This customer is called ABC Nawaz, but not he is a new customer. So since he is a new customer, he is not in the customer data table. You can easily check it. Look at the customer data table. He is not there. So definitely customer data table also needs updation. Okay. But look at the rate table. Rate table is not affected because here they talked about a customer who consumes some units. So this never be affected. This can be affected when type is changed or when there is a new type added or when rates are changed, then only it is changed, right? So here the answers are customer data table, comma, usage table. Okay, two tables. Number 5. Write down the updated rows and their respective table names for the updates given in question 4 above. Assume that account number is 1005. Okay, as usual, you have the next question. You need to write the updated record for the above description. So what is the description? There was a new customer called ABC Nawaz who consumed 120 units for the month of April, right? So we have to write it. And also type is given, right? He belongs to type R. But in the question number 5, his number also given. Even though the number is not given, I mean the account number, even though it is not given, you need to write something, right? Because it's a primary key. Right, so we already discussed, we already mentioned the names of the table, right? Customer data table needs updation and usage table needs updation, right? So let's write the record in customer data table. So how to write the answer? First of all, you have to write the table name. Okay. Table name. So customer data table. Then show the record. You don't need to write the field names, right? Show the record only. So hope everyone has the tune. You can check your tune, right? So here, First of all, in customer data table, first of all, the name must be given. What is it? ABC Nawaz, right? ABC Nawaz. So, okay, it's okay, name. Then account number is given, right? 1005. Then the type also given in the question, it is R. So this is how customer data table is updated. I will show the table again. Look here. Right? So in customer data table, you need name. So that is ABC Nawaz. ABC Nawaz. Then the second one, account number is given, right? 1005. And then the third one, type also given R. Okay, right. Then I need to update the usage table. Note in usage table, you have three fields, again three fields, month, account number, units. Month is given, month is described in the sentence, April. Account number is 1005, units to 120, right? 120, so it's too easy. So let's update that table. Usage table. Month, so it's April. Okay, then account number is 1005. Then the units used, that is 150. Okay, this is the updated record. Clear? So here it's customer data table updation. Here usage table is updated. Right, then last question. What tables should be joined to run a query to find out the total bill for AB Silva for January? You know, this kind of a question also often asked nowadays, right? They try to check your skill, right? Because this is all about your practical knowledge. So data are scattered in different tables. Now you need to find a particular information, particular data. So sometimes you need to combine many tables. So what are the tables need to be joined? Look at the question again. What table should be joined to run a query to find out the total bill for AB Silva for January? You need to find out, you need to calculate the total bill for AB Silva for January. So what are the table needs updation? Okay, I want from someone. Nadusha?
Sir,
Answer.
customer data table and usage table.
Customer data table, usage table. Niroshika?
All three tables.
All three tables. Kijahini?
Customer data, usage table, rate table.
Rate table, all three tables. Rex Harris?
All the tables, sir.
All the tables. Look here. So you want to find out AB Silva's bill amount for January. Okay. So definitely usage table needs to be considered because you know that is the table which has units used. So definitely usage table to be considered. But in units, in usage table, you have account number and months. You don't have the even name, right? That particular customer name is not there. So definitely you have to go to the which table? Customer data table. Okay, wait 1 second. Even though you have units used in usage table, right? Listen to me. Units used in usage table, you don't know the rate for each unit. Look at the usage table. That table doesn't have any rate. It shows only look at 1000. Sorry, AB Silva C, AB Silva 1001. So you need to find out this one, right? January bill. But in January, AB Silva consumed 185 units. This is the only data which I can get from usage table. But this is not enough to find the bill, to calculate the bill. to calculate the bill, you need to know the rate for 1 unit. Which table has the rate? Definitely it is rate table. So you have to take the rate table. But again, you have a problem because even though you have rate table, now I considered usage table and rate table. Even though I considered these two tables, I don't know the type of this customer because you have R type, C type. But according to these two tables, when you consider these two tables, you cannot get that information. So definitely you have to go to the customer data table and check the type. Have you understood? So now if I want to find the electricity bill for this AB Silva, definitely I have to take all the three tables because in customer data table, I can find the type of the AB Silva. Then in rate table, I can take the rate for the type R. And finally, I can get that particular 185. So all the three tables are joined. Even you can argue that the name also important because according to the description, name is mentioned, right? Name ABC, not the number. So for name also, you need to analyze custom data table. Not only for having, have you understood? Not only for taking type, also for name, you have to consider the customer data table. So customer data table, rate table, usage table, all these three tables need updation. Okay. If you have doubt, you can ask. So these are the 6 questions asked in 2017. All right, so let's go take the 2016. Look at the first one. There is a description. I will read it out. A school band has a collection of instruments that they are lent to the students who do not have instruments but want to be part of the school band. The school band maintains a database to manage lending of instruments to students. The database contains tables as given below. Okay, you got it right. So that school band has instruments, so they want to lend it out for the members who don't have the instruments, right? So for that purpose, they maintain 3 tables. First table, instrument table, that has IID, instrument, received on, 3 fields. Then there is another table called student table. It also has 3 fields, SID, name, grade. We have borrowing table that has date, IID, SID. Okay, all right, check the first question. List 2 primary key fields and their respective table names in the above database. Same question, finding the primary key. So let's find out the primary key in the first table. Right, in instrument table, you have IID, instrument, received on. Instrument should be repeated because you know that band group has one instrument in different numbers, right? So look at them as the data indicates, trumpet, they are in two numbers, right? So they have 2 trumpets. So definitely duplication there, you cannot pick it. Received on, so that is a date. You can receive a particular musical instrument on a date, but on that particular date there is a possibility for receiving some other instruments too. So look here, data can be repeated. Even you can easily see on 1/1/2015 you received 2 instruments, trumpet and clarinet, right? So received on, never. So it must be IID, because every musical instrument is given a special number. As you can see, you have 2 trumpets, but every trumpet is identified by a unique number. First trumpet is identified by 1001, second trumpet is identified by 1003. That is more than enough to finalize your answer, right? So first answer, instrument table dash I_ID. Note there is an underscore, right? Don't forget it. I_ID, right? But you have been asked to find 2 primary keys. So let's check the student table. So in student table, you have SID, name, grade. It's very simple. definitely it's SID because you don't have any other fields, only 3 fields, name, grade. Grade should be duplicated because in a particular grade, there are many students. So grade should be duplicated. Name should be duplicated, but SID, S underscore ID is unique because it has, it is given for every student. Every student has a unique number that is not given to the others. So what is the second primary key? SID in student table. Okay, we have found the answer, but better check the borrowing table because sometimes all the 3 tables have primary keys. Better check the borrowing table. In borrowing table, you have 3 fields. Date should be duplicated. No need for checking. IID. Look here. In instrument table, that doesn't have duplication, but here it has duplication because one musical instrument can be borrowed in different days. See here in 1/1/2016, someone borrows. Maybe after some time on 1/3/2016 also same instrument is borrowed. So it has duplication. So it is not the primary key. Look at the SID. SID also duplicated because a particular student can borrow instruments in different days. It's possible, right? So here, no primary key fields. No fields have the unique data. So definitely you have to go for composite key. So I tell you the answer directly because I don't want to discuss, it takes time. So here the composite key should be, okay, I have one doubt. So let me clarify that one. So what about this one? I want to take these two things as composite key. Is my choice correct? Arti, is it correct? Composite key?
No, sir.
Yes or no?
No, sir.
No. Surrogation?
No, sir.
No. Arabic?
No, sir.
Subangi?
No, sir.
Tell me the reason why it can't be selected as composite key. Subangi, what is the reason behind?
A single student can borrow the same instrument more than one time.
Yes, so that is possible, right? Look here, a particular student can borrow a same instrument in different days. See, 1003 S004 should be duplicated. 1003, it must be an instrument. S004, it must be a student. The same student can borrow the same instrument in another day. Maybe at the same day it is not possible, but in another day it is possible. So it is not unique. So IID, SID, not the primary composite key. So better it is possible. This combination is possible because date IID. For an example, look at the first data, 1/1/2016, 1003. This never be repeated. You can't say that 1/1/2016, right? 1/1/2016, 1003 repeated. That is impossible because on 1st of January 2016, this has been borrowed. So once it is borrowed, you know, it will be returned later, maybe after some time, after maybe next day or maybe after some days. So it is never be repeated. Date plus IID can be the composite key here. Okay, so we discussed similar questions in the previous classes too. So no need to take the time. Okay. So we have taken or we have identified the 2 primary keys. What are the primary keys? In instrument table, I underscore ID. In student table, S underscore ID, right? So in this question, we don't have any foreign key questions, right? We don't have any foreign keys, but let's find out the foreign key. It is for your practice. So look here, in instrument table, okay, I want someone. Akshaya K. Tell me one foreign key.
Instrument ID in borrowing table.
IID, right?
Yes.
IID, right? I underscore ID in borrowing table because I underscore ID is the primary key in instrument table. Even if it is spoken, even though if it is spoken, use the term ID, even I_ID. Try to speak like that, because the one that you speak will be written down. So if you speak like instrument ID, I know that you know the answer, but without knowing that, you can write instrument ID in exam. So you must be very careful. It is IID. I want one more foreign key, Jiva Sarubi. Jiva Sarubi. Meena Ranjani.
S_ID in borrowing table.
S_ID in borrowing table. Okay, in borrowing table, S_ID is there. It is not the primary key in borrowing table, but it is the primary key in student table, right? Look here, it is the primary key, but in borrowing table, it is not the primary key. So S_ID in borrowing table is another foreign key. Okay, right. So these are the two foreign keys. Right, let's take the second question. The school band received a donation of 2 new drums on 2nd of December 2016. What tables needs to be updated in the database? Take the situation again. The school band received a donation of 2 new drums on 2nd of December 2016. What tables or table needs to be updated? Anybody tell me what are the tables need updation? Anybody?
Instrument table.
Yes, here it is only instrument table, right? Because the band received a new one. I mean, there is a donation, so it doesn't affect the student table, and also it doesn't affect the borrowing table, because borrowing table has borrowing data, student table has student data. But the incident which was happened is something different, right? So you got the donation, so definitely instrument table is updated. Okay, so for question number A, it's instrument table. B, write down the updated rows of the tables in the databases. Okay, right. So now we need to write the updated record. So before that, we will take it again. The school band received a donation of 2 new drums on 2nd of December 2016, right? 2nd of December 2016. So look at the instrument table. I want to write somewhere here, right? I don't want to write again on the board. Just want to write here. So first of all, you need to write IID, instrument, and received on. The date is given. Okay, what's the date? 2nd of December 2016. Okay, so let's update. I want to write somewhere here. So IID is not given, so give a number like 1004. Okay, 1004. It is drum. Okay, drum. It is 10, sorry, second. Is it 6? What's the month? 6, right? 6. 2016, right? Okay. 1001 drum, 2/6/2016. But note, they got 2 donations, 2 drums. But I have written only 1 drum. 1004, each and look at here, each and every instrument has a unique number. But now we got 1004, we gave 1004 only the first drum. Right? So you have another drum too. So you need another record. Don't forget, you can make mistakes, right? So another number like 1005. 1005. The name is same, right? It's drum. Date also same. 2/6/2016. Okay. Have you understood? They got 2 donations on the same date. Those 2 instruments are drums. So since you have 2 drums, you need to give 2 unique numbers. So for first drum, I gave 1004. For second one, I gave 1005. So this is how it is updated. You need to write these 2 records in your answer sheet, right? But I tried to write here. But when it comes to exam, you have to write both. Okay, 2nd of December, I put 6 or something, December 2/12/2016, right? 2/12/2016. Okay, last question. Someone joins the band on 8th of December 2016 and borrows a trumpet on the same day. What happened? Someone joined the band on the 8th of December 2016 and borrows a trumpet on the same day. So let's check whether the summon is already there in the table. Yes, no, summon is not there, right? So summon joined the band, so summon is not there. So definitely there is an updation takes place, right? In student table, you need to update because that particular student summon has to be added. So first answer student table. And immediately after joining, he borrowed a particular trumpet, right? So borrowing table also needs updation. Okay, so 2 answers, student table, comma, borrowing table, but nothing happens in the instrument table because joining newly and borrowing an instrument never affects this one. Okay, so 2 tables updated. Second one, last question. Write down the updated rows for the table in the database. So you have to write the updated record. So let's see how the student table updated. So first of all, so here they mentioned the date 8 December 2016 and name also their summon trumpet borrowed. But look here, they don't mention anything about the SID. So give an SID. Okay, so let me give an SID. They have a format S004, S005. So better write S006. Okay, S006 ID. Even you can give 7 or something, S007, anything okay. Name summon. Hope you can read it out, right? Summon. Grade is not given in the scenario, but don't keep it as blank. Give a grade, right? Keeping a field as empty is not good. So give something like 9 or 8 or something. Okay, S006 summon 9. This is how student table is updated. You need to write this particular record alone in your answer sheet, right? Without having those field names, you can write it. S006 summon 9. Right, so we also talked about this table, right? This table also needs updation. Date is given. What is the date? Have a look at the date. 8 December 2016. And trumpet. So first 8/12/2016. Then IID. So what is the instrument borrowed in trumpet, right? So go and check the trumpet. Here you have 2 trumpets. In instrument table, you have two trumpet. Since you have 2 trumpet, give one of the trumpets ID for the student. We don't know which trumpet has been borrowed, right? Give one number. It may be 1001, it may be 1003. It's okay. Okay, that's the second one. And SID, who borrowed S006. Okay, so these are the 3 data. First of all, date 8/12/2016. Okay, I will write it 8. Use the same format. 8/12/2016. Trumpet, I give that particular 1 + 1, 1001. Who borrowed summon, whose number is 006. Okay, 8/12/2016, 1001 S006. This is how borrowing table is updated. See, the questions are very simple, but you need to have little bit experiences, right? So if you do the past papers, then you can obtain those experiences. With the help of those experiences, you can easily manage. Okay, so right, these are the questions asked in 2016. Right, let's check the 2015. The XYZ Sports is a shop that sells sports items which are supplied to the shop by several suppliers. The shop maintains a database with 3 tables to store items currently in the stock, their suppliers, and items purchased from the suppliers. So they have 3 things: items in the shop. This is the first table, item table. Second one, purchasing table, and third one, supplier table. Okay, so item table has items which are in the stock. Purchasing tables to show the data about purchasing information, and supplier table shows supplier data. Take the first question. List 2 primary key fields and their table names in the above database system. 2 primary keys. Okay, so first of all, take the item table. Item name, I name, that must be duplicated. So here it seems that the data is unique, but you know, in football, sometimes there may be different kinds of football. Am I correct? So, you know, there are varieties, right? So sometimes the name football can be repeated. There are varieties of bets. So possible, right? So I name is not the primary key. Stock has numbers, never be the primary key. But item ID can be, because every item is identified by a number. Okay, so first answer is item table dash item ID, or item ID in item table. Right, let's check the supplier table. In supplier table, you have okay, I made a mistake, I think, right? Okay, doesn't matter. I made a mistake because those field names are missed. Okay, try writing it. First one is supply ID. I think SUPP ID or something, right? Here it is. Okay, SUPP ID. Try write it, right? This is SUPP ID. I have missed it. Note this down, right? And then S name, then phone, right? Phone means phone number, phone. SUPP ID, S name, phone. Okay. So now look at the primary key here. Supplier name, S name cannot be the primary key because it can have duplication. Phone numbers can be, even supplier ID can be, because every supplier has a unique number that is not given to the other. So here you have options. SUPP ID possible and also phone number possible. But when you have more than 2 fields, more than 1 fields which have uniqueness for primary key, better pick the best one. So among these 2 numbers, among these supply ID and phone number, you know, the best choice would be supply ID, because as we discussed earlier in one class, sometimes phone number can be empty, right? Because a particular supplier may not have a phone number. That is possible, practically possible. So if it happens, phone number cannot be the primary key, because phone, if it is a primary key field, it must have data. It cannot have empty data. So suppose if a supplier doesn't have phone number, definitely it is not the primary key. So go with supplier ID. That may be the best choice. Okay, so these are the answers. Item ID in item table, SUPP ID in supplier table. Okay. Right. I don't want to check the composite key here. There should be a composite key. You can try and check it. I tell you the answer directly. In purchasing table, you don't have any primary key because date can be repeated, supply ID can be repeated, item can be repeated, count can be repeated. So there you need to pick the composite key. Here the composite key would be date plus SUPP ID plus item ID. Date plus SUPP ID plus item ID. These three fields must be joined together. You can check and confirm. If you have doubt, ask me. Right? I don't want to explain. Second one. Okay, before we go to the second one, let's identify the foreign key. It's also very simple. In item table, item ID is the primary key. That item ID is also there in purchasing table. Have a look at this. In purchasing table, item ID is the primary key here, but in purchasing table, that is not the primary key. So item ID in purchasing table is a foreign key. Look at the supplier table. In supplier table, SUPP ID is the primary key. We already discussed, right? SUPP ID is the primary key. That SUPP ID also available in purchasing table, but in purchasing table, it is not the primary key. So SUPP ID in purchasing table also one of the foreign keys. Okay, so you have two foreign keys. Right. Look at the second one. The shop decides to add a new item, tennis ball, and purchases 30 of them from the supplier Rita on the date 22/9. Okay, the shops decide to add a new item called tennis ball, and purchase 30 of them from the supplier Rita on the date 22/9. So definitely purchasing table needs updation, because you know the one which was described in the question is a purchasing activity. So a particular tennis ball, some tennis balls were purchased from Rita. Rita is one of the suppliers. So purchasing table needs updation. Okay. You know, once you purchased, they must be in the stock. In the above description, it clearly illustrates, or it clearly shows that the item table has items in stock. So when you purchase tennis balls, you know tennis balls should be in your shop. So you need to show the tennis balls in the item table. So we have two tables to be updated. What are the tables? Purchasing table and item table. Nothing happens in the supplier table. Okay, so this activity doesn't affect the supplier table because Rita is already there. You can see that, right? Supplier table, in the supplier table, Rita is already there. So no need for any updation in supplier table. So item table, purchasing table. B part, write down the new records in the relevant table. Okay, so let's write it. I'm not going to write on the board. I try to manage on the screen. So how many purchased? 30. What's the item purchased? Tennis ball. From whom purchased? Rita, and 22/9. Okay, let's fill this one. Item ID. Look here. Do you have tennis ball? No. Suppose if you have tennis ball, you can. There should be an stock, right? Assume that you have tennis ball already, and you have 10 stock. So now you purchase 30. So now it is too easy to update that as 40. But tennis ball is not there. So you need to write the tennis ball newly, right? So it is tennis ball. Tennis ball. Number is not given, ID is not given, so give an ID because it's a primary key. You must give P05 or something, P05. Stock, you purchase 30, so all the 30 should come to the stock, right? It is 30. You must write this record in the answer sheet, but I have added in the blank space. Okay, P05 tennis ball 30. So this is how item table is updated. And also we need another updation in purchasing table. So how to update the purchasing table? Date 22/9, right? So 22/9, this is date. Supply ID, you purchased from Rita. So who is Rita here? Look at the number. So S02, it is the supply ID, right? So S02. You cannot put any number which you want, right? You must put the number which is given in the table, S02. An item ID, yes, we have already mentioned, right? P05. So it is P05. How many of items that you purchased? 30. That is the count. Count means a number of items purchased. It is 30. So 22.9, S02, P05, 30. So this is how purchasing table updated. Clear? Last question. A customer buys one volleyball and one bat. Question number A. What table needs to be updated for this event? Okay. A customer comes and buys a bat and volleyball. What are the tables need to be updated? Okay, I want someone quickly. Granavi?
Item table.
Surabini? Surabini? Kavin?
Item table.
Right, look here. Yes, it must be item table. In the second question, it was described about a purchasing activity which was carried out by the shop. So in the second question, you purchase something from your supplier. But in the third one, you don't purchase anything. Someone came to your shop and bought it, right? So that is not the purchasing activity. So don't think that the purchasing table is affected. You have some confusion. That's why I asked that. So here, one customer came to your shop and bought a particular bat and a volleyball. So this is all about item table. Here, it is not the purchasing activity. You can't show in purchasing, because if it is purchasing, it is the purchasing from your supplier, right? So here, item table only updated. Okay. So second one, write down the updated record. So one volleyball and one bat gone, right? So look here, you have volleyball in numbers 10. So now one gone. So you have to we have to show that as what? 9. You have bat, how many? 25. One gone. So 24. I just write it here, but in when it comes to exam, right? When it comes to exam, you have to show right that. P02 bet 24. Okay, and then in the next one, this is one record. In next one, volleyball. So P04 is volleyball. You have the 10, but one gone. It's 9. This is how it is updated. Clear? Okay, so here it's 24, here it's 9. Right, so we discussed all the questions in 2015. Right, so today also we tried, I think, 3 papers, right? 2017, 16, and 15, right? But still we have some questions to be discussed, even though the questions which came in 2009, 10 might be different, little bit different, but since still they have some meaning, right? You can have some practices from doing such questions. Okay, so enough. We will try them in the next class. Okay, thank you.